Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel Glow Up Literally. Today I'm going to be teaching you about overeating and how it's a symptom and not the problem. And I'm also going to be going over just emotional eating, and hopefully I bring you some clarity as to why you do these things and help you get out of that cycle. Alright, so let me start my recording. Alright, so in this video you will unlearn that overeating is just a lack of discipline. You'll also unlearn that your cravings are something to fight. You'll unlearn that weight gain means you're doing something wrong, that the food is the problem, or that starting over is the solution. Those are the things that you will unlearn. And you'll learn that overeating is a response to something much deeper, that your body is asking for safety, not punishment, that emotional patterns are driving your eating habits. You'll learn that healing the why matters more than controlling the what. And you'll also learn that you don't need another diet. You need a deeper connection to yourself. None of my teachings are about fixing you. It's all about freeing you. Alright. So, most of us are taught to look at overeating like a bad habit, like something we just need to control. You've been taught to believe that if you just had a little bit more willpower, more discipline, more get it together, you'd stop overeating and lose the weight. That's what the diet culture has told you. That's what fitness culture reinforced. That's what you started to believe. But here's the truth. You are not overeating because you're out of control. You're overeating because you're overwhelmed. You were never taught how to sit with your emotions. Y'all, I'm going through something right now and I don't want to go binge anymore. I don't want to just binge anymore. So that's something exciting, and I'll talk about that more later. But anyways, you were never taught how to sit with your emotions. You were never shown how to create safety inside your body. So now your body reaches for the one thing that gives you temporary comfort: food. And the more you try to fix it with another plan, another program, another start over Monday, the more stuck you feel. Because you're treating a symptom like a problem. You're trying to fix your body when it really needs healing. What really needs healing is your heart, your nervous system, your emotional patterns, your unmet needs. You've been taught to obsess over what you're eating, but no one has ever asked you why. No one taught you to ask why. That's the shift. So the real reason you're overeating, these are oh my god, blah blah blah. These are the real reasons you're overeating. Let's stop pretending overeating is just about loving food too much. It's deeper than that. This isn't a food issue. This is an emotional, energetic, and spiritual imbalance. So here's what could really be going on. You're stressed and overwhelmed. And the thing, I know this because of years of trying to lose weight, like a decade of having the same New Year's resolution and being trapped in the same cycle for literally a decade and just beating myself up and feeling sad for myself and just waiting for my life to start, y'all. And want to lose weight, but I'm overeating and I'm binge eating, and it just didn't make sense to me. I had to really sit and figure out, why am I feeling like this? Like, what is causing all of this? Why am I saying one thing but my actions are something different? What am I operating off of? Because I don't want to be like this. But anyways, you're stressed and overwhelmed. Life is heavy. Food gives you a break. You're emotionally drained. You're tired of holding it all together, and eating is how you let go. You're trying to feel better fast. Food is quick comfort when nothing else feels good. You're lonely or disconnected. This was one of my main reasons. Sometimes food feels like the only thing that's there for you. Now, I've always had my mother there for me, but love interest wise, friend wise, just you're stuck in the cycle of shame. You're stuck in the shame cycle. You eat, feel guilty, restrict, then eat again, over and over. We've all did this, okay? But you're about to be unstuck from this shame cycle. You've learned this as a child. You used food to cope back then, and the pattern never got healed. And lastly, you're trying to avoid your feelings. It's easier to eat than to deal with what's really hurting. So I really do feel like this is why you can want to lose weight. You want to be on a diet. You want to eat less. But the way you're feeling internally, you eat trying to avoid how you're feeling. So it's crazy how you could want one thing and do another. But overall, you are just trying to cope. You are just trying to cope. So we have to stop beating ourselves up for how we handle things and start figuring out and understanding how we operate and learning that we can change anything. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to go deeper into certain things in another video. I might give y'all like an hour-long video really just breaking down everything. But let me tell you something I had to learn the hard way. You cannot shame yourself into healing. Now, please listen to me. You cannot shame yourself into healing. One more time. You cannot shame yourself into healing. You cannot hate yourself into discipline. You cannot hate yourself into discipline. You cannot expect lasting change from a place of self-disgust. Overeating isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you've been carrying something heavy and haven't felt safe enough to feel it. So stop beating yourself up for how you've been coping. You've been doing the best you can with what you've known. But now you're learning something new. You have awareness. I used to think I needed to be harder on myself to change. But when I started loving myself, the urge to self-destruct started to fade. That's where I'm at now. And I realized something, y'all. So I didn't go backwards in the food aspect of my life or falling off working out or anything like that. What I realized is, which I'll go deeper in another video, when you start to overcome different areas of yourself, you'll notice you start getting challenged in other areas. When I start talking about more metaphysical things and frequencies and energies and things like that, it'll all make sense. You have a identity, like a old self or a self that you're used to being, and as soon as you try to change that, it's like yourself, that version of you wants to battle you. So if you overcome one thing, something else will come up. But anyways, you'll overcome it all, like I'm about to do. Anyways, I'll talk about this all in like I said, a separate video. But yes, but when I started loving myself, the urge to self-destruct started to fade. It is so crazy. I don't even, just me realizing all of this gave me the awareness to understand how I'm thinking. So I don't know how to explain it. I just have so much insight to myself now that I'm not even going to beat myself up for how I feel, or for the cycles I've been in. I'm honestly thankful for it because it led me here. All of this pain and just sadness and feeling alone and just self-hate. I hate saying that. Just self-dislike and not feeling like enough within me, yeah, and just the need to numb got quieter. The cycle didn't feel so powerful anymore because I was finally on my own side. And that's where I want to take you. To that place of self-love. To that version of you who doesn't have to escape her body anymore. Who cares for herself enough to stop the cycle, not because she hates who she is, but because she's finally seeing her worth. Healing happens when you stop trying to punish yourself into change and start loving yourself into freedom. I can't stress enough that you really cannot shame yourself into anything. You can't hate yourself into anything. I cannot stress enough that when you let go and you start seeing yourself from a new perspective, you can breathe. You don't wake up feeling like, oh my God, like I gotta do this. No, it's coming. You have more grace with yourself. You're not so worried about people and how they feel. Like, I'm not worried about, I thought I had to be small to be in a happy, healthy relationship with a guy to take me serious and spoil me and just treat me like something. But I don't even care right now. I'm not gonna let a guy rush my journey. I'm not gonna let myself rush my journey. I'm not gonna let that delusion rush my journey, because I'm worthy of it now. Now, if it doesn't come until I lose weight, then oh well. But I'm worthy of it now, so I'm not gonna even keep putting that pressure on myself. But all right. Things to ask yourself. If I knew that I was already enough, how would I treat myself right now? If you knew that you were already enough, as you are, how would you treat yourself right now? And when you get hungry, ask yourself, what am I hungry for that isn't food? Well, when you have the urge to eat, like emotionally, what am I hungry for that isn't food? Is it love? Is it, I don't know, y'all. I'm having a slow moment and my mind went blank. But what am I hungry for that isn't food? I was hungry for a lot of things that wasn't food. I was hungry for just self-love, appreciation, just compassion, like just somebody to, I don't know, y'all. But anyways, when was the last time I truly felt safe in my body? When is the last time you actually felt like a home to yourself? When is the last time you felt like you weren't battling you and living in survival and trying to fix yourself? Who taught me that I had to fix or change myself to be loved? Who taught you that? And what would happen if I didn't use food right now? What would I have to face? When you start overthinking and becoming emotional and ready to eat, if you didn't have this food right now, what would you have to face? What would you have to face? Now just think about those things. I used to think about losing weight, like 100 pounds gone. I get so overwhelmed that I would eat water, right? I wanted to change. I wanted change so bad, but I was stuck in a cycle that completely went against it. That's how you know that your actions aren't just about what you want. They're rooted in how you feel about yourself. Now, oh my God, I have to make so many videos, but that's deep. Please listen to me. I wanted change so bad, but I was stuck in a cycle that went completely against it. That is how you know that your actions aren't about what you want. They're rooted in how you feel about yourself. When your desire for weight loss comes from self-hate, you will sabotage yourself. Because deep down, you do not love yourself. You don't respect yourself. You don't value yourself enough to follow through. The truth is, you can't heal a body you secretly resent. You have to build that love first. So before you take any action, before these words run through your veins and get you all excited, like, oh, I'm motivated, just sit on it. Think. You know what I'm saying? Don't act first. Just relax, hear what I'm saying, write things down, really process it and ask yourself these questions. You know what I'm saying? Don't just start coming up with a new plan and saying you're going to stick to it because you got this newfound awareness. Don't do that. Don't get yourself back in a cycle I'm trying to help you escape from. Don't do that. Work on your mind first and then start with your body. Alright? Otherwise, you'll keep running in circles, fighting for a version of you that you haven't even learned to care for yet. Now, I want to go a little bit deeper about how they're rooted in how you feel about yourself. Okay? So, anyways, Why your actions are rooted in how you feel about yourself. This is a step-by-step breakdown. This usually starts early based on how you were treated or what you were taught. Beliefs like I'm not good enough, something is wrong with me, I'll never be loved until I lose weight. That belief creates a feeling, which is shame, insecurity, fear, unworthiness. You walk through life with that emotional weight. Even if you don't say it aloud, you feel it. You're carrying this, okay? So you form a belief about yourself. That belief creates a feeling. Step number 3, that feeling drives your behavior, okay? You start dieting or working out, not from love, but from a desire to fix yourself. You treat weight loss like a punishment. You should be thankful. We should all be thankful that we can move. You know what I'm saying? It's just something you should just be happy about. And it's not even weight related, you know? None of this really is weight related. Like, we gotta stop attaching weight to everything. Just be happy that you can move, that you can consciously put better food into your body. Those things just for your health. It has nothing to do with your weight. But anyways, you restrict, push hard, and try to be perfect. And my other video breaks down all or nothing thinking, which goes more into detail about that. Okay, so you form a belief about yourself. That belief creates a feeling. That feeling drives your behavior. You get overwhelmed or triggered. Something goes wrong. You miss a workout, eat something off plan, feel emotional. Your mind says, see, I knew you couldn't do this. But the thing is, you thought you couldn't do this anyway. So you literally created this whole scenario to prove that to yourself. Okay? Anyways, step 5, you sabotage yourself. You binge, check out, quit, tell yourself I'll start over again Monday. Why do we keep starting over? Just because you mess up one day does not mean you have to start the whole journey over. Why do we think weight loss has to be perfect? But anyways, you sabotage yourself not because you're weak, but because part of you still doesn't believe you're worthy of freedom, peace, or success. The cycle repeats. You blame yourself. You blame your habits, but the truth is, the problem is in your belief system. And until you shift the way you see yourself, your actions will keep reflecting that old story. I don't care if this is why people lose weight and gain it back. You've seen it several times. People will lose weight, they'll post on social media them losing weight, but they haven't even healed in the proper way their beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So they're still that same person. So they end up back to square one. Until you shift the way you see about yourself, and until you shift the way you see yourself, you will always end up back to square one. Okay? So really get that in your mind. You can't fake shift. Okay? You have to really shift. And don't get overwhelmed. You're going to shift. Okay? You already have awareness now, so things will get a little bit easier. But this right here really is the key. Okay? This is the key. If you want different actions, you need different beliefs. If you want to stop sabotaging, you need to stop hating yourself. Healing starts when you stop trying to change from a place of shame and start loving it enough to care for it like it deserves. Healing starts when you stop trying to change your body from a place of shame and start loving it enough to care for it like it deserves. Okay? I hope that this brings some sort of awareness to your weight loss journey, your thinking, the patterns you're in, maybe bringing you comfort that you're not alone. You just gotta change the way you see yourself. And it is kind of easier said than done, but you have to give yourself grace. That's where being patient comes from. Don't rush it this time. Just write your feelings down. Just say affirmations. Just try. And just say it every day. You know, just before you go to bed and when you wake up. And over time, you'll change. That's what happened to me. I can't say I don't believe in affirmations. I do. But before, I guess I just didn't see it through. But I don't know. Just speak better to yourself. And over time, you'll fire a different signal in your brain and it might stick. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're looking for. You need to change that belief, the bad beliefs, the limiting beliefs, and replace them with beliefs that empower you, you know? And you're gonna have to start recognizing what's holding you back. So when you hear that voice or you get into these behavior patterns, you realize that this isn't me. This is just how I was coping with things, but I don't want to cope like this anymore. I don't want to do these things anymore. And you won't. And you won't. And even if you do go backwards or feel like you go backwards, realize that you don't have to start over. You just missed the day. Start again tomorrow. If you ate, I hope you enjoyed the food, but don't keep messing up because you messed up, you know. Anyways, thank you for watching my video and have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.